Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Uncommon, and joining me today is Shazampoof. Shazampoof, say hello to the lovely people.
Hi. I will not say hello. I will only say hi.
We
It's
are
all about being defiant. You gotta fight the power.
we're here today with episode 8 of Delvin in Deep, where we build up a
Are we sure it's episode 8?
yep, yep, totally
Oh
sure.
man,
Where we
the amount,
build
the amount of
Go
the
ahead, go
amount
ahead.
of the amount of material that we pull from our only other show that people also don't watch is astounding.
Oh, it's great. It's absolutely fantastic. We could go on for days. Episode John says episode N because he's a nerd and uses N variables. Nerd. That's cool. We're literally doing a Dungeons and Dragons YouTube show to like 2 people. Not only are we nerds, we're
Yeah,
like pathetic
yeah.
nerds.
Me and you. Those are the two people.
So sometimes we get like, a friend who shows up out of pity.
They get tired of ignoring the text messages.
Why though? I now have two. See, I have 2 Discord channels. I promote this in,
Mhm.
because I'm not. I'm trying to behave, right, not just post all of my own personal side projects to every single Discord I'm in.
Mhm,
But John's in one of those, so the advertising works.
mhm.
Hmm.
How's it going, John?
Yeah, how is
All
it
right.
going? Okay,
Uh,
I started talking about what do we normally do here? What do we
we
normally
ramble for
do?
15 minutes
We
and then
have
we
we
start.
we have to we have to ramble. So we're gonna talk about our bad eating decisions today because apparently you
Mine were
sacrificed
okay.
you sacrificed Halo Top ice cream for breadsticks.
No, 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 no. I ran out of ice cream.
Oh, this was full flavor ice cream. Aren't you
Yeah,
aren't you out of control?
I know. I'm a madman. I can't be stopped. See, but like the problem is
Yeah,
like at it was one of those things like I could see happening is that there was a meeting taking place in the building that I was in,
sure.
and they catered Olive Garden.
Right.
Like I brought the Olive Garden person like back to the meeting room, and I was just look. She brought in a cart to
Of
wheel in.
breadsticks.
No, no, no. It
Oh.
was all the meals, but she was like dragging a cart behind her. And I look, and then I get into the meeting room, and I see all these people, and I'm like, "There's no way these people are eating anywhere close to this amount of food." And so then inevitably, like later in the day, they were like, "Hey, there's free room or there's free food in this room." And so I just went back and stared at it for a good 2 minutes, and then walked out. And then before the end of the day, I grabbed a breadstick.
Just one breadstick.
No, I grabbed four, but I
Okay.
only ate one.
Yeah. Willpower. And that's an ice cream. That's worth an ice cream.
Yeah.
So John says, I just ordered a burger, so I'm on the bad eating decisions bandwagon. See, we're trying to balance our bad decisions with starvation. I got to work today and I'd gotten my coffee. I get coffee most times on the way to work from this little shack. It cost me like $3. I'm not very good at saving money. I know I would save like $1,000 a year if I did get coffee, but I'm I'm
You'd
I'm
save
addicted.
$1,000 a year if you didn't hang out with me.
Maybe true, or myself, tens of thousands if I didn't hang out with myself. And jeez, and I get to work today, and one of my coworkers comes in and he says he wants to go to lunch. And I'm thinking about my diet and thinking about team building and being a good coworker and
Mhm.
supporting. So I agree to go to lunch, and then I take my entire lunch and put it in the refrigerator for tomorrow. I skip
Mhm.
breakfast, I skip lunch, and I have I have pizza at Forelli's. Um, that was my solution. I was very hungry by the time I got there. Um,
Yeah. Oh,
Bad eating
and
decisions.
it's like like it's always because like I remember the good old days where I'd be like, oh, I'm so hungry, and then I would just stuff my face until not only I wasn't hungry,
Right?
it hurt, and it was a great
Actually,
feeling.
it actually
But
just occurred. Good.
now I'm just like, oh, I'm so hungry, and then I eat some food, and I'm like, oh, I'm just slightly less hungry.
We had to learn how to eat to 70% and stop, but we're not any good at it. I've actually eaten. I've done such a poor job of eating consistently throughout the day that I have a headache, and I was gonna ignore it for the full hour, but I know it's gonna be horrendous if I just need to get up. I'm gonna take some Tylenol, and I'll be right back. Tom, tell a story. I'll be right back.
Oh God. Oh no, this is why did we could have just started 6 minutes. Okay, story time. So there was a D&D party, and they were doing the final boss in a campaign, and there was four lovely people in this D&D party, and we
Oh, what a great
uh,
story! Oh, that's a knee
thank God.
slapper.
Thank God.
Sorry. What was it actually about? What did I miss?
and and then we were in the dungeon, and we got transported directly to where the final boss was, and one of the characters said, nah, I'm gonna go walk around, you guys don't wait up, and then we fought the big bad guy without him. Yeah.
Are you talking about the time where a certain person, where we spent 6 months getting to the big bad, and then he decides to just walk away from the boss fight and explore? That's what we're talking about.
Maybe.
Wow.
It was the first thing I went to. I was like, tell a D&D story,
Nope.
and then I realized I like don't have any.
Sadly, Dungeons and Dragons, it's tough because they're almost what I call, and what came to be known to me as geography moments, where you just had to be there. Every single person has been. Everybody who plays D&D for any amount of time has these great stories and interactions, but they're only fun in context. It's like Naruto, right? Or Dragon Ball Z. There's some great moments in that show, but you have to have watched the 1,000 episodes prior to have the emotional investment in the story and the characters to give a fuck.
I mean, I was pretty emotionally invested in the video you sent me like an hour ago.
Really? Oh, well then. Well, I have a show for you, son.
there's he was going to take 501, and it all made sense. I was just emotionally invested in that one extra cooler clone he was going to take on.
He was not going to let himself be secondary. That being said, we have, let me get the right episode. There we go. Today, for episode 8, we have quite a treat for you. And you get to participate, because we're going into a brainstorming session. The next best way, look at that screen transition. The next best way to handle our plot, we've decided, is to brainstorm a lot of plot hooks that would bring characters into this world, to give us a starting point for building the foundation around them.
Because some of the other stuff is even less fun to watch people talk about. So.
Oh, absolutely. Couldn't you just imagine some of the boring stuff we're going to have to get to one day? Hey guys, just avoid episode 23. Just move past it. But make sure you're there for episode 19. Tom says some crazy shit. Spoilers.
It makes the show go national for all the wrong reasons.
Aww. So, plot hook brainstorming. So let's review kind of our history real quick for everybody. Episode 1, we determined that as a starting point, this is a place where arcane magic is illegal. This is a place where the gods have come to the realm to rule mortals and enjoy the pleasure of whatever it is that draws to them. We said that. Say again.
Like patty cake. Oh, like breadsticks from Olive Garden.
Man, maybe John just loves breadsticks. No, it wasn't breadsticks. It was something else.
It was pumpernickel.
Pumpernickel bread.
Yeah, pumpernickel bread. But that was
Daniel.
De Minimo.
De Minimo. All right. Then episode 2, we talked about, let's see, the gods. That's right. We gave ourselves kind of a breakdown of who the gods are. We've stuck to that pretty well. We haven't gone back and rewritten a lot of our stuff. We've been really happy. We have been absolutely really happy with this so far. So number 3, looks like this section doesn't have anything on it, but this is probably the maps episode where we kind of, there we go.
We just, one episode we ranted for an hour and then said, yeah, we're fine.
Yeah, we're good. We got him. We got him. We got a map. We placed gods on the maps. Go ahead.
I need to redo that for
the new gods.
The new names on there because they're still wrong.
Right. Danny.
Like, a month ago.
And Zerai. Yeah, absolutely.
Actune is correct.
Well, I mean, because there will be some time where we're going to have to do the editing, right? This is the draft. We're gonna have to get into the.
We're gonna hand in our rough draft final copy, just like I did 4 years in college, baby.
Then we hammered out the names in episode 4. We kind of got to the beginning of a creation story in episode 5, where we outlined the day-to-day, or the year-by-year, decade-by-decade events. And really there was a first attempt. Some of the gods died. Now there's a second attempt, and it's been going on for a couple hundred years. Excuse me. And then we went into the relationship chart. And this was pretty good in that which gods and the relationships were strained or stressed. We outlined who did the arcane magic prohibition, kind of how they feel about each other for the most part. Then last week, we talked about the paladins and the clerics, and we gave ourselves some more power figures in the world to work with.
Than just the gods, yeah.
Right. Some more people that are going to become figureheads. And we got the Hams brothers, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm a huge fan of the Hams, especially their
just
third brother.
Came up. No.
The third brother, TB, who's not really successful at anything. He's a small petty man who's jealous of the success of others, of his brothers particularly. No,
I mean, I guess you're right in the way that he's not a level 20 cleric.
He's not a level 20 cleric. He's a level 18 CTL admin, and that is not a cleric of a major deity. But he is very high level CTL admin. Absolutely is. And he's not petty at all. He's actually a pretty fantastic person. And I don't want to talk bad about him just for a cheap laugh. Too much.
Because then all of a sudden your stream will get shut down.
Yeah, he's like,
You've been banned from your own stream. You're like, you can't do that.
Quarter season banned from my own stream? Oh. All right. So plot hook brainstorming. And so these are things that are going on in the world that would cause adventurers to take action. We're really talking some level 1 stuff, right? But the plot hook.
Oh, we want level 1 stuff.
The level 1 stuff. I don't want us to be dealing in directly in godly affairs. It can have god adjacent or adjacent to adjacent stuff, right? The after effect that we could build into why, but take a small town. I think we're thinking a small town to start with. And then maybe we talk about big town plot hooks, and we can expand from there and talk about how this plot hook came to be. Like, for example, I'm gonna write this down. The grain supply has been poisoned by goblins in a small village, maybe their village, and they have been selected from the city guard or whatever to go help solve the goblin problem, and so future grain supplies aren't damaged. And then you build back from that, and you say, the goblins were sent by blank, in order to, as part of a bigger effort to blank. All right, we can say like a bigger effort to move the boundaries of borders of gods or people. That's kind of what I'm thinking right off the bat. So,
okay. So this is first level.
Did you have plot hooks for like 10th level?
I had plot hooks for whatever level we do necessary.
Then let's do it. Let's hit. I don't care. Let's do it. What do you got?
Well, because because we mentioned before, we talked about, I think, a major conspiracy, and then work out the plot hooks that would cause.
So we're not jumping in the middle of that sentence. John says, I think it'd be better to start with the major conspiracy and then work out what plot hook that would cause. Good point too. Starting from things we've already established. Maybe we got lots of content.
Because one of the things that I was thinking about is we talked about the other side of the world.
Okay.
And because we originally mentioned, something about John, but now we also have this sea captain paladin.
Oh, the Cremolo's paladin.
Yeah, Cremolo's paladin, as something that is
the admiral.
The
siren. The siren.
Yeah, siren. Yeah. Where they're sort of, it's almost kind of like Strahd's bubble, where the sort of anti-magic bubble is sort of, worked out. And there's like, it's not like a hard wall, but like there's the way to travel gets extremely rough. And so you can't just be like a fisherman being, I'm going to go out into the ocean, because the waves and the creatures or whatever just would eat you alive.
Okay.
So then we sort of have
wave eating problems. I hear you.
So we have potentially something there, but we sort of added a new character. We could we have.
Well, let's start with that. Like, flesh that thought out. Let's not jump around, because we'll lose it. We'll lose it.
Jump around?
Stop me. What do you got, Tom? All right, so you're thinking that...
oh, there it goes. Okay.
The water or the seas are becoming increasingly rough, limiting the amount of fishing that can be accomplished. You're an adventurer. The fisher's like, help, adventurer.
So
what am I gonna do?
Is that back to a level 1 thing?
It can be.
Okay.
You always gotta go. You always get the big event, and what John's talking about is you get the big event, and you drill down to how it affects the small people, and how you can, become a small nuisance in some greater villain's side. Like, hey, your third grain shipment from the goblins didn't show up. What? All right, go somewhere else. And then the next time it's like, hey, one of your castles was taken by just some guys. Go get it back. Okay. We tried. They were really tough.
They were at level 2. I should have said my level 3 goblins instead of my level 1 goblins.
We're going right to level 8. They weren't there. Where are they at? The other grain supply.
Why don't I have Inlo's cleric who decided to put the dragon on the first level? Who are these guys?
Why are we progressively making them stronger? Right, and that's kind of how that could break down. And really, for every small quest they have an effect on, there are dozens of things should be happening simultaneously in the world, and the planet evil, whatever it is evolving. And then as things get bigger and they start tackling bigger and bigger problems, they start missing the small things, right? They start missing the everyman problems. Farmer's like, hey, I need help with my grain, and like, no, I'm sorry, we have a golem to hunt down. You're just gonna have to starve. Like, okay, I guess we'll starve then. Good luck. All right. So the farmers of Kyoto are experiencing a shortage. Is his name Kyoto? Didn't he change it, or he was always Kyoto?
Oh,
he's real bad.
Oh no! See, I took one look at the map and that went bad.
Man, I knew it. The farmers of Robat are experiencing shortage due to bad soil quality due to all the warfare. All right. So let's back up, because I think John's right. We need to zoom out just a little for the big picture stuff. So what is the big bad? What is the big dilemma here? Because even though the gods are fighting and there's war, there's got to be something ending everything. There's got to be something some big catastrophe that requires, let's say, level 10 to solve.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean the the um our the big thing is Fortic disappearing, right? So we just got to focus on all of the ripple effects that would have.
Okay, so let me start another. So, major developments.
Did you really go and put the little thingy over the A?
It's actually it's now saved in my dictionary like that. So if I type robot, it autocorrects to the little thing.
I really hope 20 years from now, Robad becomes a swear word and you accidentally write it in an important paper and you don't notice it because it's not underlined in red.
Yes. Absolutely. I hope that my fiction and your fiction make it into popular terminology, and I am still old enough to be typing on a computer. Actually, no, I should be old enough to be like thinking on a computer. Thinking on a computer. Fortic has...
Damn brain computer, how does it work, grandkids?
Oh, I am gonna stay on top of I am not going to lose sight. I still occasionally play Fortnite, so I can stay on top of it.
Do you have a TikTok account?
Fuck, I think I might actually. I might. That sounds familiar. Let me open up TikTok.
No.
Let me open up TikTok. What is it? Make every second count. I guess I don't. It doesn't look like something I have.
Aha!
I look, but I'm staying on top of it now because I make this claim every once in a while that I'm on top of things, and then somebody proves me wrong, and then I'm suddenly on top of things again. This is how the cycle works, Tom. But what is this supposed to be? TikTok is a destination for short-form mobile videos. Oh, these are Vines.
Yeah.
These are Vines Part 2. Okay.
Maybe. I don't even really know. But it was on a CNN list of parents, watch out for your kids using these apps, and Discord actually even made it on there too.
All right, focus. Okay, major developments. Fortic vanishing from the world has an effect, but that's not the big bad.
Why wouldn't that be the big bad? What would be the big bad?
What happens here? There's a power struggle. People try to take the land. Inlo moves in.
Because we have essentially Fortic was able to accomplish what pretty much maybe not Dominimo and John.
Right, sure.
But what all the other gods wanted.
Right. And
so with these libraries, then I would think that, the other gods would then, while he, because I think that you said you think he's slightly, I mean, he's not going to give, I think the example we use, he's not going to give Ectoon like siege equipment technology, but he's not,
I hear you.
But it's not like completely out there like the internet. It's not like on the front page of Google. So then people will go there. And then
story. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. And so there would then all of a sudden be a sort of shift in one, the power dynamic.
Sure.
And then two, just like it becomes a hotbed, like a focal point.
Sure.
And so one of the earlier things that we talked about, I'm not even sure, we probably mentioned it on the show. These shows, we've mentioned a ton on, is we were talking about potentially having early, have some early issued guns.
Okay.
Right. Like this is where, and so I could potentially think if we were looking to do that still, a one way where I don't think would feel shoehorned at all is if all of a sudden these, Fortic wasn't really at war with anybody, there may have been, uneasy terms.
You're going around circles. Bring it in.
No. So he wasn't at war. So if he has, he could possess, the knowledge for this advanced weaponry of guns and things like that, which then in a panic his people would then turn to this knowledge to sort of defend what they come to know and love, as these just waves of foreign powers try to come to just, see what was going on.
That's background noise to me. That's not adventure material. Like, we built this whole world with conflict and constant war.
Right.
When that stuff continues to happen, that's not a campaign. That's just the things that are happening
but that's
during
the big
campaign.
Bad.
There's no big bad there. The adventurers aren't going to stop anything. They're not going to get in the middle of the war. The war is just happening.
Right. So what the big bad is, then all of a sudden they face mommy and daddy God and kill them?
No. The big bad is a threat to life as they know it.
Right.
These gods.
That would.
No, that's just a shift. That's a power shift. That's not the end of the world.
Right. But that's. I mean, if right now, if the United States and Russia went to war with each other, that would be the end of the world.
Maybe.
Potentially in certain things.
Sure.
So with this, because I'm sort of thinking potentially some sort of scenario like that, because there was a peace treaty between Loros and Ectune.
This is just the interesting stuff that's happening in the background that they can choose to get involved in or not. The bigger thing is like a world eater in the center of the planet. It's a greater deity being summoned in by Enlo as an attempt for greater power. It's it's bigger, it's meaningful, it's a threat to the status quo. Fortic leaving raises some questions about the setting, but that power struggle, it's going to be balanced out by itself. Ectune is not going to get free domain over that knowledge. He's going to be resisted. It's going to be a battle. There's going to be some wars, but our characters aren't necessarily, and there's always an option, of course, generals in an army. They wouldn't even have time to role play out generals in an army for 20 levels. If that makes sense. If you see where I'm going with that.
True, but then but my sort of thing is like,
we can use Fortic vanishing from the world to be a trigger for Doomsday.
Right.
But what you've described to me is just the background noise that we're developing.
Right. But then, but then to me, one of the things that is then I find would be interesting in the world is that, so the biggest thing that or I guess 9 or 8 biggest characters in this world care about don't matter at all to the players, because the players care about something bigger.
These 8 characters, most of them will never matter at all to the characters. All this stuff we're doing, all this rich and deep history that we're starting to build, ain't gonna matter.
Won't ever come up, right?
Ever. They might know that there's a battle. They're not going to meet these gods necessarily. They might not interact with the problems these gods create. We have to give them a hook they care about. Mm-hmm. And this is just like, well, I know Donald Trump's, but I'm not like egging to join his. Well, I guess I am in his army. Bad example. Yes. All these great characters are potential places for them to run into and meet, but they're not. We're not going to step them through all the characters. We're not going to overburden them with lore.
So, but then I just don't see how. In a world, if you have the 8 strongest people in a world care about something, everybody else is going to have to care about that to some extent. Because as an adventuring, what is that thing? I don't want it just to be like, oh, here's some super, I don't want it to be, oh, hey, here's Strahd, and then you beat Strahd. Like in Strahd's, world, that makes sense. But having, I think we're better than just having a big monster.
No. See, the thing is this world is reusable. This world isn't the adventure we're building. All right. Faerun has a lot of really powerful figures, and characters don't give a shit about most of them ever. Like normally, the module separate from the setting of the module is a snippet of time in a moment. For example, the the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, the most recent Wizards of the Coast adventure, follows the story of one really powerful wizard and the massive dungeon he's built.
Did he put the dragon on top?
No, actually.
Idiot.
Right. But he did build it to train adventurers to an extent. But the rest of Faerun is mapped out pretty well. The rest of Faerun has huge cities and gods and politics and organizations, but none of them have anything to do with the adventure, the level 1 through 20 adventure that is Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Now, there's effects in the lore and the history of that dungeon, but Destructor 92000 in chat says, then what if civil war breaks out between the group and then the whole world civil war? See, and that's what I was talking to Shazam about is civil war and great conflict. The biggest conflicts feed a backstory. They feed the background noise, but it's not the problem that the adventurers are going to solve. It's not. They're not going to get involved in higher level politics and intrigue. Well, maybe maybe, right? They're getting hired by Fortic at level 20 to go murder Dominimo. Like that's a level 20 adventure. And killing Dominimo is probably a very long thing. It's like a level 17 to 20 adventure. Kill Dominimo.
I think we just picked him at random.
We just picked him at random. Because I couldn't think of Loros' name off the top of my head. Destructor says, especially wars between gods, that one seems popular. And it is. It is wars between gods. But it's never like the level 17 through 20 adventure is never solve the problem between wars between gods. Now, it might be that critical moment that would give a god an advantage. But again, that's 3 levels worth of content that you are, venturing to the far corners of the earth, to the deepest dungeons to find the relics so you can put them together in the god killer sword. And that's an adventure. So when we say Fortic has vanished from the world, we develop the consequences of that action.
Right.
And to decide which section of that the heroes care about.
Do we then create 8 different sections? Because I guess then I'm thinking too big. So we're really gonna take and plot like I'm just trying to think here with the people that we play with. We're really only going to have. You can start in this one quote unquote country, right?
No,
you can start Fortic, or you can start.
You give them options. You have a session 0 and you sit down and you say, hey, here's the big part of the world we have. I'm echoing a little bit on your end, by the way. I'm hearing myself back.
That's interesting because I'm in a headset. Okay, hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
For those for those of you watching for the first time, Shazam is getting his house rewired, and it's right now we're in the middle of that, so my setup is a little janky.
That's fair. So what you do is you have a session 0 and you say, hey, here's the world we have. We're gonna make characters together, give them some tie-ins and interesting backstories that mesh well together. I've learned that lesson recently. And yes, yeah, we're good there. It worked out well. Long story another time. And then you ask the question, what kind of adventure are you looking for? And you present them with some options. You say, we have the conflicts between Ektun and Loros to the north. You don't have to be involved directly in that conflict, but you could there could be consequences of that you're living through because you're in that area. There's the
Right.
party island down with Minimo that's having problems properly governing itself. That could be a place where you dive into the action. We have the open seas. The Siren, the Great Admiral, has been exploring for ages. Or are you a new recruit on the open seas? Right, like. Are you exploring the dungeon of Inlo because someone told you couldn't and you said, well, fuck you, I can?
And then you get killed by the dragon. Then
Right?
choose a new adventure. Do I sound different? Do I sound better?
Yeah, you sound good.
Okay.
Is that the webcam? Were you coming through the webcam?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just need to have it because not all my ports on my monitor don't work because that cable's not here. But
that's fair.
It's sitting in my hand.
So yes, and we that's what these plot hooks are, is kind of that general, how do you want to dive into this world? What kind of game do you want to play? Because you tell players, do you want to play Curse of Strahd or do you want to play Dungeon of the Mad Mage? Because those are different adventures. And players like, I really want to do Vampires and Werewolves.
Right.
Destructor says, or just some dude named Jeff who's good with a crossbow and looking for some gold. There you go.
Right.
Simple stuff. Start small. Starting the small.
Okay,
village.
so this is where I just move on and look at the notepad and mention nothing about how Casey was right, and we're gonna move on.
It's okay. It's a learning experience, right? So this is your first campaign prep. This is you own the Dungeon Master Guide for like 2 months. It's fine.
And I've read all of it. Definitely didn't just buy it because it was on sale.
I haven't read all of it. I tried once and I just like, I know this, and I put it down. I really don't. I could use a lot of it probably.
But no one can tell you don't have to know everything. You just have to be the smartest guy in the room.
Smartest guy in the room, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's go with another subsection. That we're like doing subsection upon subsection. So another heading here, and we're gonna call this major campaign themes.
Okay, perfect. That's I think is going to fit under what I was thinking.
Let's see.
So then I'm going to.
Let me tell you what I mean by this before you get too excited.
Okay. What are you telling me? Assuming what you're saying before you say it? Never happens.
One option is exploring Anlo's dungeon, while another option would be navigating the conflict between Ectune and Loros, while the other one I mentioned was reestablishing order or minimal order. So Dominimo's land doesn't collapse around him. That kind of thing. All right. So the major development.
Here we go.
Okay. Quest to find John. Ooh, I like it. Just call him Domino. Oh no.
It's got to be difficult. That's how you know the people who. That's how you know the people who made it are smart.
We're smart. Our names are hard to pronounce and don't exist, except for John. I'm gonna go with. I don't know if I can. Here we go. We can do this. Sailing. Exploring the sea.
Interesting.
Exploring the sea for the Siren. The Siren, right? There's gonna be islands. That's gonna be like an island adventure. The minimo. Whoa. All right, let's kill that.
Speaking of difficult one, I never remember how to spell Santalus.
Surviving the Forest of Santalus, right. Well, not only surviving the forest, and so you could build onto these. So surviving the Forest of Santalus Could be a curse deep in the jungle. Needs to be rooted out, right? Protecting someone from the mage hunters.
Ooh, there you go.
Delivering, and that could be, delivering them to X. Someone. Sunday at Staples Theater. It's the Siren. I feel like you need wacky, waveable, inflatable arm guy for something like that.
Hold on, the comedic timing is dying down.
No, I don't have. Do not blow air horns, Tom.
Hold on.
Nope. 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 That was very quiet. I don't even think they heard that. What was that?
It's the ham horn. I don't know exactly where the microphone is on this thing. Is it here?
Yeah, it's here. Is there a link to that? Should I just find
It's
that?
an app.
You have a ham horn.
Yeah, it's the ham horn app.
We're beautiful and absolutely prepared. Destructor says that sounded like a baby goat dying.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going for.
Awesome. Oh, man. All right, so I like this. These are major campaign themes. Major campaign themes lead into plot hooks.
So now we just make all of them.
Well, I mean, honestly, what we have right here is like 6 books. 9 books. There are 9 books here.
It's millions of dollars.
Just 9 modules that could come out of this setting. And that's kind of what we're writing as our own module. Oh, God, everything's disappeared. What'd you do, Tom? Okay, it's all kind of back now. Now, of course, the great thing about running is ourselves is they can jump from module to module. They could choose their own adventure. They have, as long as you have some of this stuff planned out to an extent. But we're not going to write 18 books here before we start playing, right? So you're going to have to get an idea of what they want to do. You keep saying that, but you can't bother to finish a map from week to week. So don't you?
Hey, that's mean. That's mean. You're
thanks, Destructor.
You're the popular one. So you need to be made fun of. I'm just the weak and defensive.
I'm the popular one. You'd be popular too if you get your face on a camera.
There's not enough room.
You are not a wide person. You're just a tall person.
Oh man.
All right, so taking part in the Merchant Guild Wars in Corlome's territories. That's intrigue. I like it. That's spies and intrigue. We have the dungeon crawl. Oh yes, Destructor, absolutely.
Yeah, if you count me,
I'm not watching
you.
my own.
What?
I'm not.
What?
I'm not. I can see the chat, but I'm not being counted. John's here.
Apricot, droop fruit. What?
What are you doing?
That's one of the users. That's probably a bot because it's not being counted.
Oh no, there's a whole bunch of bots. This channel usually has like 10 bots by the time I'm done each night.
Skinny seahorse.
Right.
Great names though.
Absolutely.
John comes back. All right. So now I understand.
Okay.
I've gotten my head wrapped around some themes.
Okay. Now the hook is the thing that gets level 1 players started on this path. So one hook, as an example, the Horde of the Dragon Queen, which the entire plot was based around the eventual summoning of the great Dragon Queen, the evil Dragon Queen. And what happened was that her minions attacked the town for all its gold and loot to build up a dragon horde, because to summon the Dragon Queen, you need this big pile of treasure so she can be properly summoned. So the player's plot hook was, you're traveling and you see a village on fire. What do you do? And they moved into it, and the idea was that they were supposed to help save the villagers. Of course, it was kind of a weakly written introduction because the level 1 team has the opportunity to take a hit from a large adult dragon, which is about a CR 12 or 15 creature. And yeah, it was kind of a mess of an opening, but it was their first book, and you know, any good DM can take a good story and make it work.
Okay.
Right.
So that's sort of what we're dealing with.
We are doing original things. This whole thing is original things, Destructor. But we're learning. You have to learn and know where you came from. All right. So we're looking for the hook. We're looking for the hook that brings him into, let's say, one thing at a time. So let's
we could listen to baseline hooks on YouTube until we come up with an idea.
Why you being a dickhead fool? Stop being a dickhead.
I just had to play my soundboard.
I can't hear it.
I can't hear the soundboard. I can just make fun of you consistently. Okay. So let's get one major plot hook per campaign theme, and we'll start working there. See what we get. So exploring Inlo's dungeon. Why? What gets players into the first floor?
The dragon has left.
Okay.
For 1 day. The dragon leaves a year.
The dragon has escaped or left. Maybe not even don't even give it a timing. Just like the dragon has left, right?
To mate.
It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. He left. He's never left. And so that people are like, you get in there quickly and see what's in there. Come back quickly with gold. And then they get down into the dungeon and the dragon returns. And then they're trapped on the inside.
Right, they're on the second floor, so they have to fight their way.
Oh, man. There we go. Destructor says a castle in the land has been completely taken over with zombies. So, where do we have a castle? What builds into a castle? Oh, here we go. Diminimo. Like Diminimo, one of the castles in Diminimo's lands has they're seeing a rise in the undead. A rise in the undead is a call.
Okay, I'm getting too into it.
Is a call to action.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, and they go solve that. But Diminimo can't be bothered, so it's kind of gotten out of hand.
Yeah,
it's a bigger problem than anybody's letting on.
Right, and the reason why it's it's starting it's starting to affect his wine supply, so he cares. A bunch of giant bricks build into a castle.
Diminimo let it get out of control until it affected the wine supply. Good. I still like that drunk, paladin's hungover and it's your problem because one of them is on your lawn. That's great.
Oh, I didn't know if you ever. Wait, did you delete it?
No, I
put it up there.
Up there, it's up there. I'm adding it.
I should do more of those of just putting notes and not saying anything. Oh, except all my notes are outlined in green, so it's.
Remember, it's Dimini, so mini like MINI, Diminimo. But I have all these autocorrect.
Jeez.
In my dictionary now.
Okay.
So a bunch of giant bricks built into a castle. All right, so let's make that a problem because that seems like a great thing. But what kind of problem could be caused by a giant castle appearing out of nowhere? The bricks came from something important. The bricks were actually were they like
they're in Sanalis's rainforest and she doesn't like the building there.
But where'd the materials come from?
It's not it could Diminimo playing a prank on her because he thinks it's funny.
Which uncovered well, I can play this out. Which uncovers something in Sanalis's territory that was locked away.
See, the best part about sarcasm is you can just take it seriously.
Oh, absolutely.
It's
This is why we're here. We could make that a great story. So
Yeah.
so
Maybe that'll be the best story.
let's
And
see.
then John can't take any credit for it because he was being sarcastic.
A curse deep in the jungle needs to be rooted out. It was recently released when Dominimo unleashed wild magics and created unleashed wild magics to create a new castle in his land. Unfortunately, he used the materials from the heart of Sanalis's forest jungle.
Okay.
Unleashing the curse. What's kind of curse? Like maybe nobody dies, but they need to.
Oh, I was just thinking like the animals become more and more agitated.
Oh, we're just not to your magic zombie idea. We're still on bricks. Yeah. We're getting there. We're getting there. And you said magic zombies that can cast spells if they eat wizards' brains. All right, so magic zombies. So zombies as a whole aren't that scary. Right. They're like 15 hit points. How do we make them scary other than like, what are they like? Cat? They now have, because are they sneaking up on a wizard? Like, what makes these zombies able to kill a wizard?
There's just so many of them.
They're just like what's that Tom Cruise movie where they're climbing up to the helicopter?
War of the Worlds.
War of the Worlds zombie level.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about zombies in D&D is they're never like thousands of them. There's in all D&D campaigns, like you find 8 zombies because it takes like one person to take one dead body to create a zombie. Zombies don't create other zombies by biting in D&D, right? But maybe they do. Maybe that's the curse. Powered up zombies.
You know what? We're better at D&D than we are at movies. Okay, fine, guys. There, I said it.
Powered up zombies whose bite actually transfers the disease. Which I can't spell disease.
Disease.
Is that right?
What?
Oh, disease. Disease. All right.
Disease.
Powered up zombies whose bite actually transfers the disease. Powered up all zombies. Right? So wizards who normally work with zombies start getting bit. So then we get wizard zombies.
So then they don't like lose all function.
Right.
This could be this. Where is this being put?
Major campaign themes.
Oh no, I was just. It's understandable. This is one problem with having one screen again. Yeah. There it is. Okay. Because that could also be. Hold on.
We are describing liches. We would have to have a whole nother like cosmology of like zombie lore for this to work. We would just start adding zombie to other creature types. It would become like the vampire, like the werewolf. Robadland? Maybe it's a world problem.
Well, yeah. Well, I just because I was thinking because there's so much death there, right? Because there's people killing.
Ooh. So it wasn't Dominimo, it was Robad.
Yeah.
Who unleashed this? Because that's a quest for power. That's brilliant. You're so smart.
Now, see, now you were nagging me, and now you're going to compliment me to bring me back in, so I do the show next week. I see what's going on here, and I will be back next week.
We'll be back. Definitely be back. And then the zombie gets bit by a werewolf. I mean, at this point, we're just building Zompire. Wait a minute. That's a creature. I'm adding it in. Where Zompire. There we go. Where's Zompire? It's there. It can be a thing. Why? Because this is a joint effort. The regular rules of the undead stop applying. Things start happening. So we're going to get like undead, so we normally when you have a zombie, like let's say an ogre his body is turned into a zombie, right? An ogre zombie. Perfect. We now have orc zombies. We have wizard zombies. We have just add zombie to everything. You make them
Farmer zombie.
Farmer zombie. Violently aggressive, but somehow called to their original calling. This guy's farming the fields.
They're still farming.
If you get bit by a farmer zombie, do you become... No, you'd have to be an adventurer zombie. Yeah, I like it.
You just do your adventure, just at a slower pace.
Well, the first time, the problem is the players will eventually get bitten. And then they're, zombie adventurers trying to solve the zombie problem. But they take on special properties of zombies, which makes them prostitute zombies. That's it in some weird locations. That's it some weird angles. Prostitute zombies. But I guess that would exist. It would be a really weird, you walking into a really weird place. And all of this, which makes Sandaless's forest even more dangerous. Because Sandaless has all the weird creatures. The unique creatures.
Correct.
I like it. Cool.
So then when we don't need to get into that. Let's because that's very specific and it's not needed that's another topic for another day. What about navigating the conflict between Ectune and Loros, right?
Okay.
I think that's probably the most straightforward one.
Okay. So I like this one in that, like Loros, a faction, maybe the Loros is paladin, right? Loros' paladin reaches out to adventurers because he needs a small team to infiltrate Ectune's domain and stop a ritual that will greatly sway the balance of power. But this is kicked off by... Now, Loris' paladin just doesn't show up and say, hey, you adventurers are level 1. But we had to have a story that goes before this, but it takes place in Loris' land, right? Some other kind of... They disrupt some other Ectune-like plot, right? And I'm imagining Ectune is like this 1990s cartoon villain who's like, I'm going to poison the water supply.
Oh, just... Egg delivery.
Egg delivery. Exactly. So after proving themselves in a simple but deadly task, Loris' paladin reaches out, and that's a good versus evil thing. But then there's the flip side of that, was what if we have the campaign starting in Ectune's side? And this could just be swapped.
And there's a third side.
Of Robad?
Of Robad. Like if they are, somehow, they're in a village, they're not doing so well, but everything is made worse when there's a giant conflict that goes on like towards the outside of the town area, and during that there's some splintering off that all of a sudden burns part of the town. There's some fighting that happens in the town and it sort of ruins their life, so they're forced to relocate, find other work, what have you.
Fair. How about a haunted house, but the house turns out to be a giant mimic who's eating previous adventures who ventured into it? I love giant mimics. That feels like a good one-shot introduction to an area. But Robad? Inlo?
If any, maybe Inlo.
Inlo. I like Inlo. That's like introduction to the dungeon. Because it's like a trap for adventurers. Because he doesn't want adventurers in his dungeon.
Maybe the dragon leaving is that.
The dragon leaving is trying to trap adventurers who think.
Well, no, I'm just saying like, no, I guess maybe that's not exactly how that would work, but I'm saying like the dragon leaving is just a mirage or something. Okay.
I'm going to finish typing. The dragon is left. The adventurers enter. The dragon returns and traps them inside. They must escape. And then the other Inlo's dungeon is intro quest. The giant mimic house built to stop nosy low-level adventurers. Just stop nosy adventurers? And that's not nosy. That's not how you spell nosy, is it? Nosy? Nosy adventurers.
Oh, I thought there was an E.
Yeah, there's an E now.
Oh.
All right. This can be swapped. And I'll say this can be swapped or taken from Robad's perspective. Okay. See, we're getting there. The quest to find John. Why does John matter? Because
maybe,
go ahead.
Well, maybe they love John. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, with Fortic disappearing, one of the gods wants to know if John is still around.
Okay.
One of the gods or paladins or clerics. And this would be something like Cromolo, right?
Yeah.
Molo has this vested interest. And that's any number of things. That could be the quest to find John becomes exploring the sea. This could be exploring any land. Any of the lands.
Yeah, it is Chrome. Okay.
Yep. It says dragons aren't that scary if you know how to deal with them. All you need is a gate scroll, the dragon's name, and a potion of water breathing. That's why you don't give them those things. That's simple.
Yeah.
Gate
I
scroll.
mean, no one would ever starve if you had enough food.
Dragons are easy. Get a bigger dragon.
And then when that dragon turns on you, all you need is a bigger dragon.
Right? And then when that bigger dragon gets out of control, you just need a 20th level wizard. Now, so the interesting thing about this dragon particularly is Inlo has a giant dungeon. And instead of designing this dungeon so that players or characters get stronger, or adventurers get stronger as they descend, to harder and harder levels, we just make the hardest level level 1. And it has a giant dragon there. That's all. Hard dragon.
Hard mode?
Hard
But,
mode?
yeah.
We don't play hard. I don't know if we could play hard mode D&D. Some people are into that. But this is like it can't be hard. It can't be hardcore where like if you die you get to make a new character. Like if you die you're out.
Yeah, I mean, of this world, you can't play in this world at all.
You can't play with us anymore. Yeah, we're gonna replace you.
You can't play with us anymore. Yeah, leave. You leave the table.
Leave.
Never come back to my apartment.
You're gone. We're not friends anymore.
It's like they see you at work. Hey, Uncommon, don't talk to me.
Don't talk to me.
You're dead to me. Remember?
Hardcore. Hardcore dead. Awesome. And I know exploring the seas, Sea for the Siren, the island adventure. I want to say this is there is
Treasure.
a key. Treasure
key.
key. A treasure key.
A treasure key.
Key that might open the gate to
second
the
level.
other side.
Oh.
To the other side, yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. There you go.
Defending the lands that Fortic left behind from foreign invaders. That sounds like a job for somebody else. That's a lot of work.
I mean, there's many ways to defend.
Let me see. How do we do that? Do we destroy it by descending, by getting into the library and blowing it up?
Or it could be
Gather
it could
the
be
five-
recon. It could be,
Well, what's the steps in here? Like, defending it. That's a never-ending conflict for me. That's war. You need an army. But what? It's not the defense of. It would be the final solution. What's the final solution that defends that land? do we seal it off? Is that a magic? Do we need 3 relics that they travel to and to seal it off?
You get Fortic back.
Oh, that poor bastard. He's like, I've solved the world's problem. Oh, fuck. It's like dying and going to heaven. So I'm like, no, man, you come back to life.
We saved him.
It's just a modest proposal, John.
Maybe to find where Fortic went and essentially take a giant backhoe, scoop up the land, and bring it with him.
I don't. That hurts my brain.
I have broad ideas, and you make it work.
I do. You have broad ideas. All right, here we go. We're gonna make this one. 3 relics exist in this world. Find them and seal the library. One of those relics is in Inlo's dungeon. One of those relics.
Maybe they could
wait. Let me finish this. Relics is on the other side of the world. And then one of those relics
is in your heart.
Is in the heart of the jungle. The zombie jungle.
Zombie jungle. What was I going to say? What if it's they are tasked with trying to communicate with Fortic, and the way that they would do so is that they know that there is a way that the gods would communicate with the teachers or the mommy or daddy god, so they're looking to steal whatever that is to communicate to Fortic to have them be brought with him.
What?
What do you mean what?
I don't understand what you said.
So there's something that the player characters can get that is essentially it's essentially what you said, but a little bit different. It's that what the gods and the world use to talk to the higher up.
You're saying
gods.
They have like a cell phone?
Yeah,
a god
they
phone.
They
have a god phone. So there's a god phone. Okay. Why do we want this god phone?
So that they can call Fortic and be like, "Yo, we're having serious FOMO here."
Yeah. But why can't they just do that? They all have the god phone.
No, they don't.
You say there's a god phone.
The Fortic's people want the god phone. Only the gods have the phone.
Oh, okay. So we would have to steal a phone from
a god.
One of the other gods.
Yes.
And the only one that probably won't kill you is John. So now we got a quest to find John. We have tied all these up.
Just like that, easy enough. But then again, I don't
from John.
Wait, but there's a major problem with that, because then if they were like,
then the gods could just call Fortic and then they'd be like, "What's
hey, what happened?"
Like, nah, I'm not gonna tell you.
No, man, guys, it's cool over here. Fuck you guys.
Fuck yeah, I don't need you. It's just me. I have all the books in the world. Oh, all my glasses fell. I can't read. Go ahead.
And there's nobody here to blow up my books.
Yeah, I need war. I still think every god's answer is individual.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh, true.
They all have to find their own path because they all are needed for their own individual things. Which makes the 3 new gods that we brought in that weren't in the old world, similar versions of their previous selves, but with small tweaks put into them by mommy and daddy. So protecting someone from the mage hunters, that's good. That's small. That could become big.
Right, and that could be it could be player character driven, right? I mean, because one of them's gonna want to be a mage.
Oh yeah, I mean maybe not. Maybe they're all maybe none of them go arcane magic because they're still druids. They're still clerics, paladins. You don't have to.
So what it cuts off sorcerers, wizards, and
warlocks and bards.
Warlocks.
And
Wait,
yeah, bards. Bards are arcane. and rogues.
Stop playing that flute.
And
What?
fighters. Rogues and fighters have a subclass that cast magic.
Well, then they
arcane
could
magic.
be fighters. They just can't
Be that kind of
subclass.
fighter, right?
Right.
Or they
Okay.
could be that
Okay.
subclass. They can be that subclass. They just
Mhm.
there is a constant hunt for mages.
Mhm.
Absolutely, and that's when we leave there. I think we leave that one alone without delving too much deeper into it because that one's
Hey, name drop.
hey oh delving in deep. Yeah, major campaign. So we kind of shifted. I like that we're plot hook brainstorming was the idea, but we did turn this into major campaign themes, and I think that's where we wanted to end up. I think that's
See,
perfect.
look at that. It's called progress.
We have so rarely known exactly what we were going to talk about when we start, and we always end up in the right place.
Yeah. Or Shazam was like, "Hey, Casey, you want to talk about this?" And Uncommon's like, "Nah, screw you."
Nah, we need to bring it in. Bring it in. All right, so
Which is boring.
this.
It's
Okay, so
fun
what we
stuff.
have,
How am I
here.
supposed to make a spreadsheet out of this, Casey?
We're not. That's why we use OneNote, not spreadsheets, Tom.
You could put the spreadsheets in OneNote.
Yes. And that's very painful to edit. I want to put titles to these. Like if this was a book, I think that's how we close out. If these were, this is how we close this out. If these were books, what would they be called? So, Exploring Inlo's Dungeon needs a title.
Dungeon in Deep.
Dungeon, no. Nope. Nope. Delving in dungeons.
Where is
Remember, this has got to encompass the whole thing, not just the entrance, not just the dragon leaving.
Did I leave the oven on?
Did I? All right.
Because they can't check if there's a dragon on the way, so the players have to.
All right, let's look at my shelf real quick and look at the campaigns sitting over there. They're all big picture. The Curse of Strahd, the Horde of the Dragon Queen, the Rise of Tiamat, the Dungeon of the Mad Mage. So this one could be. This one's about Inlo, the cave, the depths of the Undying.
The arcane cage.
The arcane cage.
Yeah.
I like mine better. You can name the next one.
Well, dude,
That's the arcane cage is down here. The arcane cage is down here, protecting someone from mage hunters.
These major campaign themes.
Yeah.
One of them might work.
I think they all work.
Don't become too attached to your idea, Casey.
I'm not. I think they all could work with enough work.
I mean, yeah. We could turn any of these into, you could turn any idea into a workable idea if you change it enough.
For a temporary name, for a at this one moment name, not necessarily forever name, I'm okay with Depths of the Undying more than I am the Arcane Cage.
Well, no, I'm just saying that it's not a temporary name. It's a temporary major campaign theme.
No, right. But when I say major campaign themes, the way these look like, I visualize these as modules.
Mm-hmm.
I visualize these as, do you want to play the Depths of the Undying, or do you want to play the Arcane Cage? And the Arcane Cage is close. Maybe.
Well, no, to me, that was something I threw out there. I'm not arguing between the two names. I'm just saying that this campaign theme going, or really any of these campaign themes going much further than that, this I don't see. We may get one good idea, but
realistically, if we were to finish fleshing this out completely as a campaign setting, the next thing to do is to write campaigns, and there are 9 campaigns here. Each one exploring some major facets of the world. And when we run our game, these are tools that we could decide to flesh out. These are tools we could use later to like, all right, so they're in De Minimo's land. We had something planned for this. Blah, 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 blah. The wine supply, the undead is, I mean, these are, but let's name.
Okay.
Let's name. Navigating the conflict between Ektun and Loros. Parentheses, real bad. In small text. Because he's tiny.
2.5 men. Get it? Because
I do. 2.5 powers.
Charlie Sheen all of a sudden starts suing us.
Reestablishing minimal order so De Minimo's land doesn't collapse around him. Weekend at Danny's.
We can't just do rip off of movie and show titles if we're gonna actually come up with names.
We can do anything we want. Weekend at Danny's. You get the next one. The Quest to Find John.
God, all these are garbage.
They're great. I love them.
The Quest to Find John. Where's Waldo pun?
The Quest to Find John. That could be a farmer's tale. They're back again.
See, the problem is, like, out of all of them, I just said that, but that's like not a terrible one. But like,
what, mine wasn't or yours wasn't?
No. Well, they all are, but I said a farmer's tale. Like it's just like, all
right, farmer's tale. You got it.
You can't just.
I can. Why not? This is great. Exploring the sea for the siren, an island adventure. Islands adventure. Multiple islands.
The Siren Sea.
Okay.
There. That's literally.
How about the Siren's Call?
Okay.
Defending the land that Fortic left behind from foreign invaders. Desert Storm.
We changed it. He's in mountainous region. It's not cold, or it's not hot there anymore.
It's mountain and desert, isn't it?
No, I thought it was mountain.
No, there's a mountain between him and everybody, but
no, it was a mountainy region.
Was it? Okay, the whole area is mountainy. All right. I don't care. You're fine. It could be mountains. I'm not that attached to deserts.
Bad experience. Okay, too dark. So,
all right. Yep, you're there.
New phone. Who's this? See, that would just not be productive at all.
No, we're being productive. It's been like 30 seconds. Come on, 30 seconds. A gap in power.
Sure. I don't like that one, but sure.
We find some. Let's work it then. So,
the Great Fire at Alexandria, except instead of the books disappearing, it's God's disappearing. Is that going anywhere in my head? I can't know.
A void in
a void of knowledge.
Of mountainous void.
A mountainous void of knowledge?
I mean, that's the implication.
A monumental?
Ooh. Monumental void. Just call it phone home. FT phone home. For Fortic. No, I still don't think we're there yet. This one's like a collective journey. This one requires, like, this is campaign within campaign within campaign. Like, this would be the great journey.
this is like the Harry Potter, but the actual journeys are like the books.
Right. This is like the
The collection.
like how about this? We'll call this like a trilogy of tales.
Okay, that's
right.
is Sonic gonna be in there?
Sonic?
Who
What?
is Sonic?
Who is
Get
Sonic?
it? Because it's a trilogy of tales.
Oh man. And then we just make all the other ideas, variable and level, 1 to 7, 1 8 to whatever, with the numbers. Probably like a 1 to 5, a 1 to 4, a 1 to 4, and then a 5 to 11. That's massive jump actually. 1 to 11, 11 to 14, 15 to 20. That's probably better. All right, surviving the forest of Sandal's territory. This is the zombie wizard curse. A new dawn of the dead.
They walk among us.
Can't touch this.
In the leaves.
Thriller.
Behind the leaves.
Thriller 2. Zombies fight back. Back to the dead. Zombies?
God, no. Name it Bazinga?
Bazombies?
Zombies.
Yep, we're getting there. Come on.
A new life.
Oh, I like where this is going, but I don't want to stop there. A new life. The second chance nobody wanted.
Because there's all the life of the forest, but then the zombies are alive again.
Well, like you're alive and then you die, but you're a zombie, so you're living again, and that sucks because your flesh is rotting away. Second season.
Oh, okay. Because seasons of the forest. Okay, that's like so. Like out of all of them, that's the only one I don't think is bad. So
yeah, I actually really don't. I really like Weekend at Danny's. Like, that's going to be a fun one. It just says it's going to be fun in the title with the Minimo.
It's a never. Okay.
Protecting someone from mage hunters. This is going to be dealing just heavily with the mage hunter theme. This is we're talking about persecuted people. We're talking about unfair laws. Maybe everybody supports them. Maybe everybody doesn't. Maybe it's just status quo at this point. Breaking the wheel. The unbroken wheel.
Is there something D&D about like the silent spells or like the
Okay. Let me pull up magic spells. You keep thinking. You ain't looking pretty.
So rough. What's sorcerers have it? I have it on that new sorcerer.
There's silence.
No, it's like silent cast. Is that have a cool name or is
subtle
it just
spell?
Subtle. Subtle. Subtle cheat. No.
Well, mage hunters come and people disappear, right? Subtly vanishing in the night.
Subtly gone.
Let's see.
Let's
see. What's that?
Where are you, Dad?
Oh God, this is dark. Mom, when is Daddy coming home? Out for groceries.
A farmer's tale. No,
The long day.
Okay.
which applies to a lot of things, but this gives a theme of like you can't stop moving. You're being hunted. I like it. All right, taking part in a Merchants Guild war in Krolom's territory. So this one we didn't really dive deep into, or delve deep into. But it is spies and intrigue, and this is the theme here would be Krolom's confusing web of political intrigue and merchant wars. This involves the Ham brothers. Involves the Hams. This is going to be the relationship between Ektoon's, what's that? We said cleric.
Yep, and there's the two clerics.
Two clerics, and
yeah.
Oh, let's get back to the behind the scenes. All right, so Ektoon's two clerics involves the Ham. So I'm going to write that note down. Ektoon / Krolom's cleric, and probably like delivering supplies or working deals in that territory, whatever that looks like. What's that?
And then sort of having like, before you're dealing with the Ham brothers, like there's many guilds in the, in Krolom's territory that all, like their companies fighting for power. So like you would start throughout there and then, I don't know, develop some. What is it? What's that word? I can't think of it, but I can see
relationships.
No, yeah, it's so I guess your political prowess, right? You become a figure,
okay.
Yeah, and so
we need a name.
The flip of a coin, right? Because like a merchant will pay somebody, they'll flip a coin to them.
Two sides.
Sure. Two sides of a coin.
Two sides of a coin or two sides?
Just two. Okay, yeah. I mean, we could cut off the end of it so that
I like the idea of the coin, and I think that implies two sides of a war. That implies two sides of a coin.
Okay.
Two sides.
Because with two. Well, yeah, because two. I mean, two sides is like, I don't know. Yeah, like.
If you don't like it, we can alter it.
Yeah. Or do we just say the sides of the coin?
Your call.
Because, to me, just like two sides.
How about planes of power?
Planes of power.
Two sides.
How about
money's power?
How about pork barrel politics?
I like it. We're going with it. Pork barrel politics.
Because they're the Ham brothers.
They're the Ham brothers. I'm there. I'm in. Pork barrel politics. We have, ladies and gentlemen, we have several major campaign themes that we can build upon now that'll help us flesh out some of this continuing story in the world. One is the depths of the undying. The other is 2.5 powers. Weekend at Danny's, A Farmer's Tale, The Siren's Call, a trilogy of tales, second season, The Long Day, and Pork barrel politics. I think that's pretty fantastic.
We got a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. There's so many opportunities here.
Now, do we go and our players, and then do we give them a feel now?
So we have an idea of where we need to spend our time.
Yeah, because if you wanted to turn this around by August, I think
we need to start thinking about the direction. Yeah, I'll present this to the players, since we have the players. Then we'll do it. I've been training them week after week on how to be the best versions of themselves and myself, and we'll come together and pick something. Very cool. Yeah, next time on episode 9. So what about next time? What are some things we want to talk about next week when we sit down and do this again?
Do we dive into just more specific? Like by next week, will we have a potential of what they want?
We could,
or what they're interested in. We can narrow it down.
I can narrow it down next week if you want to really go in this direction, or we could step back out again and be broad. But really, we don't have to. We can be. We can, because here's what it's going to do. And I think you're right. We delve deeper into one of these, because that's going to flesh out the more important cities, the more important players in a region for us to know about. Absolutely, absolutely, we do that. So let's go with dive delve deeper into the selected theme. And we will do that. We will have that discussion with the players, what kind of game they want to play. And yeah, absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Uncommon and my bestest friend, Shazam Poof.
See, here it goes. He's just trying to pull me in for next week.
Just pulling you in. Can't escape the love. Episode 8 of Delving in Deep. Tom, do you want to say anything to these beautiful people before I finish closing out?
Hi. Or wait, was it hello? How did I start the show? I forgot. It's been so long. Joke didn't work. I'm sorry.
You heard it here, ladies and gentlemen. He says hi or hello, whichever one he did earlier. I am Uncommon. This is Shazam. We will be back next Wednesday at. Wait a minute. Wait. We got to get all the things lined up for closing out the episode just right. We'll be back next week, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, with Delving in Deep, episode 9, where we're going to dive into one of these selected themes. I'll see you on the other side of the coin, the cool side of the pillow.